are talking about fertility today, whether that means being a mama and bringing little ones into the world, or whether it means the creative aspirations, the fertility that we're birthing into this planet as we step into our divine feminine. Even if you're a man, we are talking about that today. And I have one of the most amazing experts that has come to me through my very best friend. And so anytime somebody comes to me through those personal channels, I get really, really excited. My friend Alana Gentry has worked personally with my guest today, Molly Nichols. Molly is a fertility expert, specifically in pregnancy fertility, but Molly has beautiful, amazing insights into how this idea of fertility expands into our businesses and how it affects us as lightworkers. So if you are somebody who has been struggling with fertility, maybe on the physical level, you want to bring little ones into this planet, and you want to have that experience of being a parent, which is one of the biggest jobs you'll ever sign up for, let me tell you. Or whether you are a light worker and you're feeling that expansion of fertility and establishing your message and how you're here to breathe life into the planet, your legacy, then you're going to want to tune in and hang out with Miss Molly and I today. I want to invite you guys, let's get a little liking it up, hearting it up, sharing this out. I'm going to take a moment to share it out too and let Molly introduce herself to you guys. But let's get a really, really nice big audience here. Warm welcome for our new friend Molly, and share this information out because there's somebody in your life who is birthing something new, whether it's in their own families, whether it's in their own heart, they're stepping into their skills on a more dynamic level. This is going to help some people out there today. So with no further ado, Molly, welcome to the show. Let everybody know a little bit more about you, and I'm going to take a moment just to share this out a bit.
Awesome. So I'm Molly Nichols. I am a fertility coach and healer, and I support women all around the world. My main clientele is women who are struggling to conceive their babies, women who their awakening is happening through their conception struggles, as well as when they become mamas, and those who are also birthing a business or really being curious about what, their gifts and things that are coming to the surface through the experiences they've had through their fertility journey. So my main area of expertise is guided visualizations. And through the visualization process, we really pull in on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and energetic level closer. You pull those things closer to you so you can feel them, sense them, know them. Hi. And you can really begin to embody that energy. So when you have these deep desires that maybe aren't showing up as quickly as you want them to, they don't feel so far away. And you're really clearing what doesn't work, clearing that baggage, all that energetic stuff that might be there. So you can really become this vessel to receive all that you desire in life, in family, and in business.
You know what word that keeps popping into my head is that integration. When you take us through this visualization in just a little bit, we're really going to be able to experience that integration of energy on all levels. Molly and I were chatting a little bit before I hit go, and we were talking about the eclipse energies coming up and how they're stirring up so many emotions and energies for us. Once we integrate that emotional body, once we integrate all of these pieces, this kind of time when there's all of this shifting and changing is going to be a heck of a lot easier. So recognize how integration is going to play out for you in a lot of different areas. We got a really exciting process for you guys, but before we do that, I want everyone to get to know you a little bit more. Tell everybody, please, what was your journey like to becoming this energetic fertility healer and coach and working with women? Have you always had outside of the box jobs like this, and what did it transition like?
No.
Okay.
Actually, I was the one who supported other healers and coaches. I worked in luxury spas in Southern California and took care of. That's why I'd say I always had this really special place in my heart for massage therapists and healers. and I would nurture them and care for them. I mean, huge spas of teams of 100. And throughout that time when I was growing my career, although I never had a plan of growing my career, I just wanted to be a mom. And the goal always was I'd become a mom and then I'd quit my job and I'd just be the stay-at-home mom. I had no like, this is who I'm going to be when I grow up. I'm just going to be a mom. I had no career path. But a career path was presented in front of me, and I trained with some amazing healers in the luxury spa industry. And throughout the entire time I was trying to get pregnant. So for 7 years, I struggled to have my babies. And in that time, that was like kind of my, I think, cocoon time of to learn what I needed to learn, to grow. I had a really amazing mentor that I worked with, and really was my first introduction to personal development. And throughout this entire time, no one ever talked to me in the medical community about what was going on mentally, emotionally, energetically, spiritually with me. They were just like, do this. No one asked me about stress, anything. And I met this woman, this other healer at this event, and she looked at me and she was like, you don't believe that you're going to become pregnant. And she wasn't saying that in a way to like, you're bad, you're wrong. She was just like, what it triggered in me, that was the awakening moment. That one thing that someone said to me that woke something up within me and was like, what do I believe? And that day I went home and I began visualizing and really embodying this pregnant energy. She's like, what does that feel like? What is that? And I'd always been leading visualizations in my work meetings, which is crazy to look back now. And through the visualization process, that knowing that like it didn't have to be so hard, that my babies were with me, that everything was going to unfold exactly how it was supposed to. And it did very quickly. I became pregnant through fertility treatments with twins. I then went on to leave my career and became pregnant naturally with my daughter. So I'm now a mama of 3. And the biggest thing for me was like, oh my gosh, I need to scream this to the world that like, our fertility or anything in the physical realm of like you having a baby, but in your business or in life, the energetics of things, we're so focused on the physical when the physical is only a piece of it. When we embody all of it together, that's how you have the life that you desire. That's how you call your baby into your life. You clear away what's not working. And so it became my mission to scream this from the rooftops that women need to be connecting. We need to be coming back to ourselves. We seek so much information. I just went through this in my business, thinking that someone else knew better than me in my business. And it made me all like I was throwing away what I knew and following someone else's plan. And so my work is really about the journey back to yourself. So you can trust yourself, the insight, the guidance, the channel, whatever it is that you know best for yourself, even if all the noise outside is telling you something different. And so that's been my, so what brought me here is wanting to be a mom, and now having my 3 beautiful, highly sensitive children that has been a whole other level of awakening on top of that. Yeah.
I love that. We have that in common. I am also a mama of 3, and it's my youngest one's birthday today. She's 9, which is why I'm past the stage of having any more babies. But I love this topic of fertility because, like I shared, I see this having a strong connection with business as well. Before I did this, I was immersed in Hollywood. That was my career. And I had times where I could fully integrate all of the different beliefs and aspirations. And I had times where I sucked at it and I got really like, why isn't this working? So I've personally had struggles with fertility in that area of my life, not so much with my physical children. That happened very easily and effortlessly, pretty much for me. How many of you guys out there have struggled with fertility, either with your physical babies or with a business or with an idea or anything? Just show of hands, give us I guess we can't see your hands, so you might have to send some hearts across the screen or say, yes, that was me. So I'd just like to check in with you guys. How many of you guys out there are or have struggled with this before? And while our audience here is chiming in and participating in our conversation, let's talk a little bit more about the eclipse energies too, and how those are specifically affecting you as a healer, as a light worker right now, because I know that there's been a lot of shakeup for me as well, a lot of shifting in a lot of areas. What are you experiencing?
Well, interesting you ask.
Yeah.
So I was ready to throw it all away, to burn my business to the ground, truthfully. Not all aspects of it, but really the fertility aspects. And I was going in this other direction. It was like I was trying to close down. So in the fertility space, it's a woman who's struggling to have her baby. There's a lot of emotion there. And when we talk about mothers, women who already have children, it can be very difficult. And I didn't want to inflict any of that emotional pain on on my clients or my community. And so I hid the fact that I was a mother, for not hid, but didn't talk about it, like capped that part of myself. So now I'm talking more about motherhood, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't talk about fertility anymore. So there's like this confusion of who am I? Who do I get to be? Who should I be? That like just story. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll walk away from fertility. But the farther I walked away, and this was a short period of time, but the farther I walked away, the farther I tried to put my energy in a different direction, the more like clogged and confused like my channel became. My creativity, like I was pushing, it just didn't feel easy. It felt like all these weird old habits and behaviors around food and my energy were showing up. And then I took care of myself and got a healing session, which I'm not good at. I needed to be better. But through a 90-minute conversation filled with tears and childhood stuff and all my crap came up and worked through, my channel all of a sudden was clear. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're put here on earth to help people call their children into their lives, to connect with themselves on a deeper level, to birth these beautiful businesses, to support for mamas to show up in their best energy, for their children, for the children who are coming in right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And it was like, I woke up again. Again. And
Yes.
it was just like this self-sabotage. It was also that the more I do my work, like when I first started doing the visualizations, they were powerful, but now my work is multidimensional. I mean, we're opening up portals to other dimensions, calling babies in. I mean, there's some deep stuff happening. And so it was scared me a little bit. And I like had to clear that, to go into that, to go, it's safe. Like, you can show up and embody and share all of yourself. You don't have to keep trying to cap parts of it in order to fit in a box to make it acceptable for everybody else.
I love it.
So that's where I've been at. It's been it's a bit of a storm over here.
I know, and it's hard to even put words to it. We're like, I've been feeling the same thing. Like things coming up with my business that I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this. And I agree with you. For a hot second, it scared me until I went into the space of the Akashic Records, and from that perspective, things get crystal clear, and you get centered really fast. It's a great time to do session work. I love that you said that you're like, yeah, I just got myself a session. This is really the time to invest that way in ourselves, because there are so many dynamic ways that we can shift and open up to these other portals, these other dimensions that you're talking about. And I love getting in there to those other dimensions. What can I ask you? Because it seems like, I don't know if epidemic is the right word. I don't know if it's that, but a ton of people are struggling with this.
It's an epidemic.
Yeah, what's up with the energetic patterns right now that's causing so many of us to experience this?
I think it's in a lot of it is in the consciousness around, like, once you turn 35, if you haven't got pregnant in a certain amount of time, this is now what the label of what's happening to you it is. Women in their 40s, you're automatically, if you're not getting pregnant, you will struggle. So we're embodying this energy, we're embodying these stories, we're embodying these messages, and we're taking them on as our truth. And then we're getting outside kind of noise from everyone else that this is what it is, this is what's acceptable, this is the story that they have about you. So again, it really comes back to, and then, you look even, and I've never spoken about this, and because I've been a little scared, to be honest with you.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're getting it today then. All right,
in. Okay, so I even think, some of these bigger communities where they're inviting women to come together to say, like, I'm one and so, like, I am infertile. And here's the deal. I embodied my infertility. I was like, this is who I am. But when I got pregnant with my daughter, it was really hard to let that go. I felt guilt. I felt shame. Who am I to get pregnant? Am I a liar? Did I ever have infertility? And so I feel like even this collectiveness where we're coming together to say, I'm infertile, this is wrong with me. It's like, if you're struggling to have a baby, you may be struggling with that. They give it the title infertile, but it's not who you are. It's something you're dealing with. You have different diagnoses, different things, but it isn't who you are. And I feel like there's just this energy, instead of saying, well, maybe you're not broken. Maybe there's not something wrong with you. Maybe it is just timing. Maybe it's something you have to clear. And that's not as easy as going, I'll go to the doctor, take all the things and do what they tell me. The inner work is much more difficult. So yeah, I think it's really in the collective around what they say is even possible. Because from my perspective, in the connection with the baby, from the spiritual aspect of spirit babies, that there is an abundance of children that want to come through right now. And the women who are going through these struggles, they are being called to a higher level to clear things so they can receive the children that are coming through right now. I mean, some of the babies that are born to my clients, I'm like, what are you here to do? How are you here to change the world?
I love it. I love it. I love that you mentioned that idea of us being are affected by the collective consciousness, because that is so, so true. What was coming up for me when you were talking, some was of my own experience I want to share, and then I started to get some download information coming in. So I'll share the download with you guys. So when I was pregnant with my kiddos, my first two boys, I got pregnant naturally pretty easily with all of them. I had the boys traditional style in the hospital, good old epidurals. They were fast too. One was 6 hours start to finish. The other was 7 hours of labor start to finish. And I was in my young 20s when I had my boys. And then when I had my daughter Vivian, whose birthday it is today, a lot of things had started to shift and change in me. And there were a lot of areas in my own life where I had given away my power. And I recognized that this process of, and excuse me if I get emotional, of birthing these beings into the planet is a huge opportunity for us as women to take our power back. And there were a lot of aspects of my life that were falling apart at that point in time. And I was like, I'm ready to do this naturally. I'm going to get a midwife. I am going to take my power back. I saw The Business of Being Born, which is a fabulous documentary if you guys haven't seen it, as well as, the name is escaping me because it's been a long, Ina Gardner. What was that, Birth or the Birthing? What was that book that she wrote? Do you know which one I'm talking about?
I don't.
She was talking about the collective energy, the collective belief that birthing children is very difficult, that process is super painful and intense. And she also talked about how there is a tribe of women in New Guinea who have not been exposed to the same sweating and panting, women being rushed into the ER on movies and TV commercials and all this crazy intensity. They work in the fields until they go into labor, and then a couple of their friends move off to the side and they have this beautiful birthing ceremony, and their mama wraps baby up, puts it on, and they go back to work. Okay, because they don't believe that this is anything other than a natural and beautiful process. And while I was ready on some areas to attack that, I hadn't fully integrated in all areas. I did not have a pain-free birth. Vivian was actually face up, and I was in labor with that child for 26, 27 hours. They started pumping me full of Pitocin, and I got to the point where I'm like, F this, get that epidural here now. And when I did that, there was something that, like, I got up, I stood up, and then there was a shift in her, and within 10 minutes, she was there with us. So I was not able to fully integrate that seamless processing of that experience, but I do recognize, and this is the download information that's coming in, is that it's a process of shifting back. And the women who are experiencing this trouble and infertility, You are golden goddesses here to help understand this problem and dynamically shift the energy. You're not only shifting it for yourself, but you're reestablishing that new belief system for the planet. And it doesn't look seamless. It doesn't look like you flip a switch and all of a sudden, yeah, it just, everything happens all naturally and magically. You got to work for it, and you've got to give yourself that integral space for growth as well. So that's just what I wanted to share about what you were talking about, that collective energy. You guys ready to dive into the visualization?
Well, I wanted to say really quick, because I had the same experience where I had my twins through C-section, and then I was like, I'm going to birth my daughter naturally. But it was the same thing of like that fear in the back of my mind, but also I didn't follow my own advice. It was like that same thing of coming back to like not visualizing, not connecting with it, not really being like, yes, I can, like there was, and I ended up like, she ended up coming, there was some issues before where I had to go in and have another C-section. But it was like, I knew, and if I was really honest with myself in the back of my head, I knew that wasn't going to work out the way I wanted it to. And so it was like that full integration. And I love what you shared about, women, it's not this seamless process. It's messy, and it brings you to your knees month after month after month. And it's how you get up and move on and clear through it. Like I will say, almost all of my clients will say, even if they're not pregnant yet, the work that they've done in their fertility journey, they are a better woman today. They feel better, stronger, more tuned in than they ever have before. And they wouldn't change it. Well, they want their baby so bad, they wouldn't change it.
Well, I want some of that integration from you today, my friend.
All right.
I am give myself over to this process. Guys, let's do one more quick share out before we dive into this process. Just again, so anybody out there who is needing to hear this message, I'm hearing them telling me share out right now, and I don't always pause and share in the middle of a video. So I know there's somebody out there who needs this. And yeah, go ahead and do a quick share out again, and then let's just give ourselves over to this process.
Okay, so I always like to invite you to kind of rub your hands together, creating a little warm, loving energy between your palms, and just to place a hand over your heart and a hand over your belly, making connection with your body. And just to center in by taking 3 deep breaths in whatever way feels most comfortable to you in this moment. In each breath, just feeling your body soften. Feel your shoulders drop, your awareness move from your mind down into your heart and into your body. Tuning out any distractions that might be going on around you. And just having a moment of gratitude for this moment you have to connect with yourself and what you desire from this life. And I want to invite you now to envision a crystalline 1,000 lotus petal crown being placed on the top of your head. And this crown radiates this white, vibrant, healing, love-filled light that floods your entire body, head to toe. It flows down, in, and through you, seeping into every cell, your tissues, your blood, your bones, your skin, your entire body, lit up in love. It ebbs and flows through you. It illuminates from you. This is the true essence of who you are. You are love. You are of love. And with your next deep breath, I want to invite you just to expand this loving energy out beyond your body in all directions. Just creating this beautiful force field around you. It clears all of your systems. And now I want to invite you to envision this beautiful, strong, incredible oak tree planted in this incredible meadow, green grass as far as you can see, beautiful flowers, sun shining down upon you, white billowy clouds in the sky. And there's this path that leads right up to the oak tree. And in front of the oak tree, there's a quilt and a beautiful pillow that's been set out just for you. And as you make your way up the path, you take a seat on the pillow. You place your back against the tree. You feel the strength of the tree supporting you, holding you. And with your next deep breath, I want to invite you just to envision your heart energy, the light within you shining out into the meadow and into the world. And as you shine your light, it brings your vibration up. It serves you and feeds you. It gives you energy. It does not deplete you. It gives you energy. And if there's any beliefs or stories or ideas that you have around what sharing your light means that depletes you, let's just take a deep breath and let that go. Shining your light serves you. You get to have boundaries. You get to take care of yourself. And as you shine your light in this meadow, those things that you desire most in your heart are drawn towards you. They arrive with ease and grace. The support you need, the guidance you need, whatever it is, the financials, they are drawn towards you because you shine your light in a place of knowing and confidence and groundedness. If your heart desires a child right now, that child comes to you with a beautiful message. They share perhaps a word or a symbol, a sign with you, or maybe even a feeling, and you receive it. Taking a deep breath. And in this moment, tuning even deeper into yourself. I want to invite you to ask yourself, your higher self, what is it that I need to fill me up in this moment so that I can be an open vessel to receive what I desire in life? And you receive that answer. And then you can draw your light back in and just say thank you. Your light is always shining. And you just take a moment to acknowledge all that you do each and every day to support yourself and the people in your life. And you can take another deep breath. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
I'm just getting us back to the right screen here. That was beautiful. I loved it. One part that was especially meaningful to me was when you said we could receive the message in a symbol or in a feeling, because we a lot of times have expectations of receiving messages with the same words, vocabulary, language that we're used to. And truthfully, I really like receiving in symbolic form because the subconscious mind doesn't dive in and start analyzing.
Absolutely.
It wasn't said. So if you did receive a symbol during that time, symbols are super powerful. I love that you brought that in for us. Let's check in with our audience here. How did you guys feel? Katrina says that was amazing. Her temples are vibrating. That's cool. I've heard people say before, like my third eye vibrates or my crown chakra. Never really in the temples, but as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I could almost like tune into that pulsing in the temples. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think the thing that we go to with visualization too is that we think that it has to, like everyone has to see it, but it's really about how you as the individual process the information. So it's not something that's intellectual at all, but our intellectual, like you said, when you go to the, what's the, like the feeling, the symbol, it's because we all interpret the information. When we start to think like, oh, it's supposed to look this way, that's where we then get into the mental aspect and out of the feeling. So everyone processes the information differently.
I love it. So guys, give yourself permission to process it differently, process it however you process it. We're going to wrap up today because the beautiful Robin McClendon is coming on at 12:30 with Conversations with Gaia. So be sure to keep hanging out here. Go grab yourself something to drink, go to the bathroom real fast and come back and join us. But before we go, Molly, please let everybody know where they can connect with you and give us a quick rundown of how you work with people. So if people are interested in services, they kind of know how you guide them.
Okay, awesome. So you can find me at mollynichols.com or Molly Ann Nichols on Instagram. I love Instagram. Yeah, so I work with people one-on-one. I also have digital products and programs both for fertility. As well as one of the programs I just recently offered is called Being Seen, which is about light workers coming up and really putting yourself out into the world unapologetically. No more hiding, no more, really giving yourself permission to own your gifts, own your power. And I also have a brand new monthly membership program called the School of Awakened and Intuitive Living. And all of those can be found at mollynichols.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Molly
Thank
Nichols.
you.
It's been awesome to meet you and also to share you with my audience. I'm so glad that Alana introduced the two of us, because you are a serious bright light, and your personality is just so awesome and charming. I've loved having you. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank
and
you.
Guys, make sure you connect with Molly and then hop on over to see Robin. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.